So I just saw The Batman, and I've done way too many takes of this video because I'm really excited about this movie, and because I'm really excited about this movie, I can't keep my fucking thoughts straight. So this is gonna be a little bit all over the place. I do apologize, but I'm just gonna try and do like a non-spoilery thing for you right now because a lot of what I want to discuss might lean into spoilers. So the non-spoilery thing, it's just fucking good. I'm not really sure how else to put it without doing too much spoilers. It's just fucking good. The direction is awesome. It's like dark and gritty, but like a little bit colorful still. Sort of like mid-2000s DC comic books, if you can image that in your mind. This movie looks like that, also with a splash of the Arkham Asylum games. I've never played those games, but my brother did, so I have an idea of their aesthetic. So if you like the Arkham Asylum games, and if you like mid-2000s Batman comic books, you're gonna really dig the aesthetic of this movie. Dig, what is this, the fucking 1970s? I also really love the story of this movie. Like, it's this great sort of like almost noir sort of story with a splash of horror with some of the shit the Riddler does, because holy shit, some of the shit the Riddler does is horrifying. But the best thing of all is the fact that this movie's 3-hour runtime is completely justified, and in fact you just feel those 3 hours disappear. Like, it doesn't feel like 3 hours because it's so well paced, and the fun of this movie is going along with this mystery that Batman's solving, and this mystery is engrossing enough that, as I said, you don't feel the 3 hours. It passes by without you realizing it. So the Riddler's terrifying and he's amazing. Paul Dano, I had absolutely no doubts about Paul Dano going into this movie because of his role as Eli Sunday in There Will Be Blood. Like, I watched that movie before watching The Batman like a couple of months ago, and I was like, yeah, no, this guy absolutely the best choice for the Riddler, and he really was. Like, he was absolutely unhinged. He doesn't get a lot of screen time on account of the fact that it's a mystery movie, but the screen time that he does have, oh boy, does Paul Dano eat it up. And like for most of the stuff where he's seen in the mask and shit, because that's how he's mostly seen, he's still really terrifying from under that mask. So Paul Dano, absolutely A-class Riddler. Couldn't have picked a better guy. Selena Kyle's awesome in this movie. I'm not sure what else to say. She's just really fucking awesome and badass, and I love her as a foil to Bruce. And yeah, no, I really hope we see more of her in the trilogy. And Robert Pattinson is the best Bruce Wayne, live action Bruce Wayne we've ever gotten. That might be recency bias on my part because, I just watched the movie a couple of hours ago, but I still feel pretty confident in saying that he is the best Batman we've gotten in live action so far. And in fact, I'd go as far as to say that this whole movie is the best live action Batman movie we've ever gotten. And again, that might be recency bias, but like at the same time, much as I am a Christopher Nolan fanboy, I really do believe that this movie kicks the ass of all three of his Batman movies. Like, it's almost not a contest, at least with The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, this movie's just really fucking good. So if you haven't seen it yet, do that, and then come back to this video when you've seen it to hear my spoiler thoughts, or don't. I don't know if those will be any more coherent than this was. Let's see if I can do some spoiler stuff, because as I said, this is all a little bit mashed up in my mind. The first thing I really liked was some of the applications of the sort of noir aesthetic, as I said this movie has, because Batman gets a narration across this movie, which was an interesting choice, I thought. And I'm classing this as a spoiler because I don't really know if it's a spoiler or not. He gets narration across this movie where we can sort of like get an inner look at his emotions towards Gotham City and whether he really feels like he's doing enough for the city. And this is really great because that's actually the driving force of this movie, which was really exciting for me. Seeing a movie that really pulls apart Batman and what he does for the city is really interesting because, it's been a meme across the past while that, oh, Batman is a rich guy who beats people up instead of giving to charities and shit. I mean, he does, so that joke misses the point. But this movie really sort of deconstructs he's a rich guy who's beating the shit out of people by night. Does this help? And it sort of goes into like the stuff that he is helping with, but like the ways he could do more for Gotham. And I think that's a really great dialogue to have. And I think with the trilogy that they're very clearly setting up with this movie, they're going to show the other side of Bruce Wayne a bit more in the future of him like giving a bunch of money to charities and stuff. I think that's what they're setting up with this movie. I really hope that's where they're going because it would really be nice to see more of his philanthropy instead of like the sort of like playboy dickhead that Bruce Wayne was in Batman Begins. Fun though that was. So yeah, I'm really fascinated by like the deconstruction of Bruce Wayne's contribution to Gotham in this movie, and I really like it. So yeah, no, like I really do think like this movie came together perfectly. The Batman's good. Go watch it. I'm gonna go to fucking bed.